Hey guys, how's it going? Kripp here, bringing you a sponsored Minion Masters video. This is Minion Masters. It is a game on Steam. It is a free game on Steam that you can check out. People love this game. It has great reviews. You guys can check it out. It has very fair business practice, and it's very fun. So today I'm going to give you guys a bit of a different narrative for a video. I'm going to give you guys 3 decks that I played that I had a lot of success with to get you started in this game if you do want to check it out. And if you do want to check it out, please use the link below. So the first deck I'm going to highlight, and I'll be back to explain each one after a couple of games from each, uses the Stormbringer hero. This is one of the first heroes that you'll play with. I think it's one of the strongest base heroes. He enables 3 skills. All heroes enable 3 skill as they level up, as the game progresses. So each hero he attacks, and he attacks from a longer range than most. And with Long Shot, the first skill, he has global attack range. So he attacks something all the time. It's a very good tempo ability. The second one gives all of your range units marksmanship, which is 2 range when they are summoned. So if you use range units, they're a lot more powerful. 2 range is not a lot, but getting the first attack in, as you'll see from the clips to come, is very good. And the hero gets double attack speed as the 3rd perk. The deck I want to feature here, there's a lot of decks that you can use with him. I used a free-to-play deck on day 1, and I went nearly undefeated. Honestly, just use ranged units, and you're going to do just fine. I use Blood Imps. Blood Imps take damage for you. They're an extremely heavy tempo unit, but the reason I use Blood Imps is because I want to conserve mana. A lot of my deck uses this Mana Surge ability. This is kind of like a Mana Surge Sentry deck, you may call it. So Mana Surge, 50% attack speed if you have 6 or more mana. So it's pretty difficult to stay over 6 mana if you're playing a tempo deck, which is why you have to be very careful about when you make your tempo pushes. But if you can get Mana Surge active on attack, it can get really out of control. I use double archers. You can have more than 1 cards in each of your decks. You have to use basically the wild card slots. And there's no card levels, so you can get multiple copies of cards. The cards themselves, they level up, but they don't get stronger. That's why it's a fair practice game. But if you have multiple cards, you can use multiple of that same unit in your deck to a limit. Generally, that's not really needed, but you can if you want. I use the Crystal Construct as tanks. They give you 1 mana back when you summon them. So basically, it costs 4, and it's a very tanky unit. The Mana Surge is at 6, mana cap is 10, so if I play this on 10, I get back the 1 mana immediately, and Mana Surge remains active if I want. Crossbow Guild is probably one of the most important cards if you're playing a Stormbringer deck, because it allows you to kind of push that tempo. You play the Crossbow Guild, and then halfway through things are getting really out of control, and near the end of the Crossbow Guild, if your building hasn't died at least, you're probably going to win that game. So see how the deck plays, and I'll see you guys in a second.
The Minions of Masters.
I don't think I've played against this hero before.
Duel.
My aim is shockingly good. I'll make good use of this.
I'm gonna just take a little bit of face damage here. It's not a big deal. Crossbow's doing some work here. How do you become a poof? I think I have the streamer arena enabled. See, my guy is enraged right now. I'm just gonna leave him enraged for now. I'm gonna play archers, but when I'm really close to 10. Perfect timing. Look at that tank. Okay, fine. I floated some mana there. That was bad, but that's fine. I want to keep my enrage buff up. There you go. Annihilated.
Let's go!
I feel like 1,000,000 volts.
How do I make an emote here? This guy's pretty good so far.
I told you I'm mighty.
Wait, what did he do? He like stole my dude? He's got an XP advantage, but it's very slight. Oh, the little scrats are kicking my ass. I think I'm gonna lose this. Try to go for a bit of a greedy play.
Blue got the second turn!
Yeah, I don't have that like lobbing skill. Seems pretty good to have in this spot. He just spent all of his mana on that. I think a push here would actually do really well. I think I can win this now. And he just used his lobbing skill on the last one. So this should work.
Blue gains the third turn!
Oh boy, this is kind of bad here. He's got like a mind control skill that's really strong. Alright, energize. Go, go, go. Yeah, it's like a curse or something. My energized guys are way better in the late game. That's a game.
Alright, so the second deck I want to highlight for you guys, this is mostly a single player deck because the hero that's ideal for this type of deck is Mordar, and Mordar has very strong abilities. So the first 2 times that he levels, he gets tombstone cards in your deck, 1 for each level. So what a tombstone does is, it might sound confusing, but it's pretty clear how it works once you're actually using the card. So it has 400 health, and after 10 seconds it activates, and it reses the next friendly minion that dies. It expires after duration, I'd say maybe 30 or 40 seconds, so within 10 seconds after you play the card to about 30 seconds after that, the very next guy on your side that dies gets instantly resurrected. The tombstone card costs 0 mana, so you're getting really good value, especially if you get a larger guy. Now, the reason I say it's a single player or a 1v1 hero is because if you're playing 2v2 mode with him, it will trigger off of your ally's units, and your ally might not necessarily be playing large units. He might be playing small units, which will make this a lot worse than it normally is. His last activator is all minions raised by Tombstone gain Frenzy. Doesn't really matter too much because with the type of high synergy Tombstone deck, if you get any Tombstone on a large minion, it gets really out of control. So let me show you what that deck looks like. Again, this is primarily a 1v1 deck. You want to have some kind of cycle, so that's why I use Illusionary Cleaver. He looks like a badass, but basically he does no damage, and when he dies, because he has 2 health, he's gonna die. He just does a 30 damage AoE. He's just kind of to cycle and to get to the cards that you want. The primary card that you want is the Colossus. So the Colossus is part of the recent DLC. It was free last weekend when I did the stream, so a lot of people picked up Colossus for $0. Again, very consumer friendly game this is. At 1200 health is an absolute crazy amount. Colossus does a ton of damage too, so both health and attack is insanely high, but his movement speed is very low. So it's very difficult to get him across the board, but that can be turned into an advantage, as you can tell in a game like this one. Another weakness that he has is he only damages ground units, so you need to be able to protect him with units that attack air. The idea is you play Colossus or 2 Colossus, and you time your tombstones so 10 seconds after you play them, or roughly so, a Colossus or even maybe a Shield Guard of Light dies, so they get instantly resurrected, giving you a massive value and tempo advantage momentarily, and that happens a lot. I use the Succubus because Succubus is an extremely high damage unit, and it has enough health to be healed, and it can attack air. Priestess is the healer. I use 2 Priestesses in a few versions of the deck, but I found that 2 Priestesses can get a little bit weird, because if you can't stick one of your large minions, having 2 Priestesses in your card pool at any given time can be pretty frustrating. I use Xiaolong, but you know, you can use any kind of ranged unit that can attack air. You just need another guy that can attack air, and a few spells, of course, Chain Lightning, Fireball. A lot of the time when you're playing Minion Masters, you're going to be able to deal with small minions using another small minion that has an AoE attack. The thing is, with a deck that uses tombstones, you want to resurrect your minions from time to time, so having small minions is not really the best idea, and if you do run them, you have to be very careful. Like, you can't just play Illusionary Carver when you have a tombstone up. It's going to be a really bad tombstone. You literally just don't play Illusionary Carver, or even the Dragon probably, when you have a tombstone up. See the deck? You're going to love this one.
Oh, this is like a skin or something. Okay.
Throwing creatures at each other.
Haven't played against this. Is this the Smork thing? I see lots of small dudes on his side. Actually, yeah, I think I'll take the bridges. He's just AFKing. Is it? Oh no. Okay, he just wanted to full counter me. I see. Oh, yeah, dude, just walk the other way. Easy. That's so unfair. No, my healers. There we go. This seems beatable. Oh, is he gonna mind control my guy for a short while? Okay, that's actually kind of bad. Less healer, more hammer. If you get 2 healers behind a hammer, it's like game over. Because the healers heal for a lot.
The minions of masters, prepare to duel. Showtime!
Oh, Jesus.
Call in the big clouds.
This cost me an arm and a leg. Luckily, they weren't mine.
Got our combo off. This will probably be game. I think I'm gonna go for another Colossus. I think the one that was about to die was gonna be respawned again. Alright, one more game.
The final deck I want to highlight for you guys uses the Ravager hero. The Ravager hero is a very popular hero. His abilities basically summons a really big badass when he hits the certain level threshold. So the first time the hero levels, you get best buds, you get Brutus. Brutus just instantly spawns. It's not a card in your deck, it's a one-time spawn. So it's a pretty high skill level thing to kind of time a push coordinated with leveling your hero, but if you do that, it's going to be really insane. Brutus is actually very strong. You're playing kind of like a tempo deck, so you want to play high efficiency cards, but we'll get to those in a second. Friendly minions with less than 50% health have Frenzy. This is kind of a big deal. It's stronger than it looks. High move speed, high attack speed synergizes very well with most of the cards that you can put in a deck like this. And Terror Brutus is instantly summoned when you reach level 3, but in my experience, most games don't last that long. You're playing a heavy tempo deck, and this is the one that I felt worked for me. So you got Plasma Marines, you got Xiao Long, which is kind of just whatever, a ranged unit. I like the Shadow Whelp, but again, those are kind of fillers. Defenso Chopper is extremely strong. It's just a very powerful tank unit that's capable of doing a lot of damage, and if you spawn him in the middle of a lot of small guys, the small guys are just going to take 100 counter damage and they would just die. So it is a very powerful unit. These are just kind of like the filler units. Even the Stun Lancers are kind of filler units. The core of this deck is high efficiency combos. So it starts with Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball, it's a Fireball. Fireball normally costs 4. But if the last card you played was a 6-mana spell, it also summons a Dragon Whelp. More importantly, it summons the Dragon Whelp where the Fireball lands. So if you're winning on tempo and you're using an activated Dragon Ball, your Dragon Whelp will be on the opponent's side immediately. So it's a very high tempo play if you can meet this requirement. So if you're playing Dragon Balls, in my case I'm playing 2 Dragon Balls, you want to be playing minions that cost 6 mana. That can be a bit of a challenge. Not too many minions that cost 6 mana. However, Shield Guard of Light is probably the best one. So if you have this, use it. If you have 2 of them, even use 2 of them. I had a lot of luck with Stixie, which is a sniper, but if I had 2 Shield Guards of Light, I think that's roughly the same power level. You're just looking for high power level 6 cost minions, so you can activate your Dragon Balls. Dragon Balls is a very strong card, and if you do activate your Dragon Balls, you can then play Sharzrak Twins, which is a Succubus, which is a very strong 5-drop, and Incubus, which is kind of like a melee version of it. Extremely high damage, extremely high mobility melee unit instead of a ranged unit, and you get him for 2 mana essentially. I don't know if he is a standalone card. If he is, I don't have him, but he probably would cost 5 mana as well. So you get a very high tempo synergy play if your last card was a 5 mana spell. So the way this deck works is you kind of stall out with units that are just pretty good, don't necessarily have too much synergy with one another, and then you build up a hand that includes a 6-cost minion, a 5-cost Dragon Ball to follow after the 6-cost minion, and your Sharzrak Twins. And by the time that you're setting up this synergy is typically around the time that, if you go back, the Ravager levels up to level 1. So if you're doing this and you get that huge tempo push and you get Brutus, things get completely out of control, and typically at that point when they get out of control, you still have things alive that are injured, and then Frenzy activates. It's kind of like a natural power creep progression tempo deck, and this is probably one of the craziest ones. This one works very well in both 1v1 and 2v2. Check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed the clips, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Throw down those cards! Hands down. The best choice.
Please don't kill my sniper. Okay, we're winning that battle. I can play whatever cost I want here, so I think I'll just do this. Why doesn't it stun him? I'm getting a little bit zooed right now. I don't get that immunity effect. Yeah, those two guys are hurting quite a lot. We're both very low. I think this ball is gonna give me the game.
We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen.
80 health left.
Come to
No, we were getting matched up, just people would drop out of the queue.
duel.
Double Ravager, oh boy.
Best choice.
We went for outhouse here. Nope, I think that tempo swing is pretty GG. Yeah. I don't know what they played. They played something that if it takes enough damage, it switches sides. And that was played right as I played the dual succubus bros, which do crazy damage.